allow the children. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo touchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you louder, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. Aha. Now Imo na don hear all these bad politicians, them we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get wetin suppose get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one. Maiyegun, you go show na paper. Maiyegun diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make we loud, oh, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo.
Hello there. So good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And maybe good evening to you too, from wherever you are joining us. This is Maiyegun, or Brunch Time with Maiyegun, live. So thank you so much for joining me. This afternoon, we are going to have a little bit of, engagement on the Brunch Time with Maiyegun. This afternoon, we're going to treat something that is so personal to some people. Also, this afternoon, we are going to touch on a topic that so many people, so many on all sides have or would prefer never to touch. And hopefully, this may be the beginning of some long-term, talking together, addressing some personal, grounded, and complex, maybe not so complex problems and issues with that contraption. So, thank you so much for joining me. Read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast as well. It is going to be an open mic. Open mic in the sense that it is going to be a session where people are going to, or you are going to have the opportunity of calling in anytime, right now, this minute, to share your personal experience when it comes to, I mean, you know, inter-tribal or inter-ethnic or even inter-religious sort of relationships, marriages, or families, where some of you who are products of, for example, a Yoruba father and an Igbo mother, or vice versa, like an Igbo father and a Yoruba mother, or an Ebira father, I mean, and a Yoruba mother, or an Ebira mother, Yoruba father, Edo, this, you know, that kind of mix. So we have had instances, you know, these days where the level of bigotry, which in itself is filled with some sort of personal, deeper hatred on all sides. You know, there was a time on this platform where I said, you see, this weaponized bigotry, you know, this hatred that APC, Egbekegbe, have deployed, all because of Tifnubu wants to gain power in that contraption, in the airport as well, to put the Yorubas in the defensive position, more or less like expected the Yorubas to, you know, back Tifnubu, no matter what, no matter how horrible and failing his illegitimate regime is. So there are those who have kind of like pushed the narrative over time. And there's nothing they haven't really said, all right? So I said that before now, even if there were any kind of, you know, animosities, or I don't want to use the strong word hatred towards one another, I wouldn't even use the word hatred, whatever it was, right? At the time, people were still kind of like engaging, getting married. We have products of inter-ethnic, inter-tribal, and inter-religious marriages, successful, beautiful families. But there were some buried personal sort of, you know, PTSD, some experiences where you have been, I mean, people have been discriminated against, right? Simply because somehow what is now being more pronounced today called tainted blood. I never heard anything like that in my life until until this APC, Egbekegbe, where people who are not defending the druggy Tifnumbu are projected as Omoali. And then they went as far as making everyone who have relationship with any other tribe, in this regard, like all the tribes, but they are much, much like obsessed with the Igbos, right? And from record, the Yorubas and the Igbos, when it comes to inter-ethnic marriages, right? The Yorubas and the Igbos seems to have married even more, right, than any other ethnic, what have you, in Nigeria today, right? But somehow, if this animosity, these buried animosities have always been there, how did the products of all these relationship marriages, how have they been, I mean, what was the experience like? Have you ever been discriminated against, for example, right? When you are with your, for example, like let's say your mom is Igbo and your dad Yoruba, right? So to us in Yoruba land, you are an automatic Yoruba, right? But there are those within Yoruba land who have been pushing or weaponizing ethnic sort of politics disguised as ethnic self-preservation. It is not self-preservation. So those before it became more pronounced now, right? Those of you who are products of this relationship, right? Tell us your childhood, while you are in Igbo land or while you are in Yoruba land. We have those who have shared experiences, like, I'll give you instances, okay? So there's this person who shared his personal story, and the story was that within their family, their extended family, there's always this slow word of calling him Igbo, simply because his mom is Igbo, his dad is Yoruba, and he is raised in Lagos, for example. Like, he sees himself as a Yoruba man, but there's no amount of how much he kind of like present himself as a Yoruba, you know, with Yoruba name, barely bears his Igbo name, but because his extended family and the rest of them do not really see him as a full member of their family. That's something that is so strange to him as a young person. He grew up to, according to him, to overcome it. Like, well, that's their problem. But he never really felt that same kind of, awkward sort of like, a relationship with his mom's side, right? Meanwhile, others have said that, it is a personal thing. It is not Igbo thing or Yoruba thing. Because there are those who also experience, they'll say that they experience the otherwise parts. But I just want to, I do hope that on this platform, on this program, right, while I read personal stories and then share some other experiences with us, my line will remain open. Okay, call this a kind of, public opinion poll, whereby you can tell us from your own personal experience, not I heard that the Yorubas are this or the Igbos are that. So you get now. So there are many of us, right, who are either Igbos or Yorubas who have never really had any real contact, right, with either ethnic nationality. We have Yorubas who have never really had contact with the Igbos, but they've heard a lot. We have Igbos who have never had contact with the Yorubas. Now that this battle of, full blood against half blood, right, is spewing up again, although their elites are not by any means swayed by any of this. It is just, the bottom barrel who are pretty much pushing this kind of divisive, like hateful rhetorics and all that. Because if you look at their elites, they are still married, right? Tribally, inter-tribally, inter-ethnically, even inter-religiously, as we speak. Tifnumbu's wife, Remy, from what we heard, our mom is from Delta. No, sorry, our dad is from Delta. Our mom is from somewhere in Imo State. I'm not sure. Just same way I'm not sure of Tifnumbu's identity per se, right? But somehow, if you match the two, right, to the Ronukus who present or who are parading themselves as Yoruba conservatives, right? Pure bollock, right? So you have a Sheyi Tifnumbu, whose wife is also from Anambra State, right? Their children are privileged, and possibly these miscreants are always those who pushes these divisive narratives are going to still serve their children. It doesn't really matter. Examples abound, right? The current governor of Osun State, his mom is from Imo State, I heard, right? Even his wife, I think, is also from there. Their children currently present themselves as full Yorubas. But by the context of these guys, they are half-blood, tainted blood. Okay? So I don't know what it is for them in their circle, right? I'm not in their circle like the elites and all that, okay? But at least, if I have a chance of those of you who are like privileged, yeah, that somehow, this shouldn't even like bother you or be a problem, but you do have an experience whereby your mom, your dad are of two different ethnic nationalities in that place, right? Then you can share your own experience as well. And something happened. I think it was last week, okay? you have the speaker. That's a speaker for the House of Assembly, or your state House of Assembly speaker. He shared a post on Twitter. And in that post, he was acknowledging the visit of the Igbo, like group in your state. That's like the Igbos living in your state, who paid him a courtesy visit, right? And then he was acknowledging them, then also acknowledging the contribution they've made to your state. And most importantly, his mom, who is Igbo. Then these guys just went on to the point that, I can use the word bully for this one, because they bullied him that he deleted that post. Then he made another one by putting up his own personal picture and his wife. Then started doing the shalaye for like, I am a Yoruba, I am a full-blooded, I speak Yoruba very clearly, I respect Yoruba culture, and my wife is Yoruba, she speaks Yoruba. I was like, what the heck? So it was like, but they were not done with him, because according to them, they were like, it will be punished, because henceforth, if your mama or your papa no be full-blooded Yoruba, you cannot run for any public office or be appointed for any public office. And also, right, you should not be admitted into schools in Yoruba land because you are half-blood or tainted blood. So you might have read a lot about this online. One of the problems is that our people also prefer to live in denial, okay? Like I said, we have so many of us who have heard so much, but never really experienced it. I'm talking about, everything you hear about the Yorubas, or everything you hear about the Igbos, or whatever you hear about the Hausas, and all those stuff. You've never really had a personal experience. But there are those who were born into it. Like they didn't choose it, like all of us didn't anyway. They didn't choose it. They were born into it. They just woke up and realized that their mom and their dad, they are from two different parts of Nigeria. But somehow they are caught in the web. And their childhood, some will tell you that, it's so wonderful. In my own family, there was nothing like that. It's so new. I can tell you same, right? Because I was with my friend earlier today, and we're talking about how things have become so degenerated in Nigeria, right? So, and I said, you see, when we're growing up, there were some certain things, right, that we just took for jokes, for granted. But we didn't know that they were indirect indoctrination, and it goes both ways. Do you get that now? But others would, from my own experience, right, growing up, I never had any reason, right, to really care about where anyone came from. Do you get that now? That I would date just anyone from anywhere. Unfortunately, the only few tribes around where I grew up, right, they are mostly the Igbos, the southern tribes and all that stuff. Sure you get. So, and few of these northern folks, right? And yeah, I felt more attracted to, like what was closer to me. I wasn't among the children who were able to like travel all over the whole country to see things firsthand and all that, right? So it simply just was like the childhood of you being so innocent enough that you didn't really care so much about where these people or their parents came from, because we're not raised that way. But within that, we still had some level of, what I would call jokes that are now slur words today, right? So our parents, right, are very much guilty of the level of bigotry on all sides. Now, we can keep pointing fingers here and there, but one thing I want us to just kind of pay attention to, if we have the chance at this afternoon, is that I want people who experienced it. You know what I mean? Your mom is Yoruba, your dad is Igbo. How did your Yoruba family members, your relatives, how did they relate with you? Like, you don't even have to tell us your name. Do you get that now? How did they relate with you? Like, were you, by any means, could you remember during your, your childhood, your growing up days, right? Ever experienced any form of discrimination, like, talked down on, I don't know the word. Maybe we'll begin to figure out what are those words they possibly used, right? So, like I said, it is going to be an open mic, and I'll keep the line very much opened while I keep up the gist. So, somebody said, you see, the bigotry, the tribalism, and all this form of politically sponsored hatred that we are witnessing today, they did not start today. And I agree. They didn't. They've always been there, And I remember saying something closer to it, that until this APC, Egbe came to power, right? People used to just speak in harsh tones about, their what do you call it? Their own animosity or whatever it is against other people, dislikes. I don't want to use the word hate again, because in the whole thing, people are still like transacting, they're doing businesses together, they are intermarrying. Some people are not even like paying attention to anything that historically they were told. I mean, never to associate themselves with, but they just move on. People just kind of like live for happiness and all that. But they've always been there. You see, the animosity has always been there. People have always have one thing or another against one tribe or another, right? To the point that people are actually being reprimanded for trying to marry from another ethnic nationality or from another tribe, and it goes all sides. I mean, like all sides, So for those of you who have had your own personal experience, like for example, again, a young lady shared her own personal experience in this discrimination, stuff. She said that her mom is Igbo, and her dad, of course, Yoruba, from Oyo State. So they had this school debating kind of like competition coming up. So she was picked, right, to represent her school. And of course, preparation began and, all that stuff. It was going to be like all schools, kind of like from Oyo State. All of them in Oyo Stadium, kind of. Okay. So she was prepared, all set, what she was going to like, speak on and all that. They've given them the topic and all that. Then on the day of the event, the school came. Meanwhile, she didn't know that some people have already started protesting it. And what were they protesting? They said, she's not a full-time Yoruba. This program is about Yoruba. She's not a full Yoruba, full-blooded. Like, what do you mean? Said it has to be done by a full Yoruba. I said, this is not a ritual. This is school. I said, no. So it's like some PTA members and some other member of the community who really, really pushed that. They had the influence to change it. So on the day of the event, they told this young girl that she won't be able to represent her school at that event. Another person would have to replace her. And I mean, kind of like, as a child, that's going to hit different. You get what I mean? And that stays with her. So she said, part of what she wrote as a debate was actually given to this new person to read and present. She sat there listening to this person, and she was discriminated against simply because of something that is not her own fault. So I want people who have this to share on both sides. I don't want it to be like one-sided, because it is something that some people don't want to talk about, and I understand why they don't want to. Because there are people who have this strong belief about this tribal thing, and they are very, very passionate about it, strong, and they are willing to pass it down on and on and on, this hatred. But what about the children who are like the product of some of these marriages, right? Who are being told that they will never amount to anything in the land of their father or in the land of their own mother. Pablo, hello.
Yeah, hello. Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm very well, Baba. Yourself?
Good day. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. It's Pete from in Wales. Yeah.
Say that again, from Wales.
Yeah, that's me, Pete from Wales. Yeah.
Pete from Wales. Fantastic. I was going to call you Pablo, but I'll stick to Pete.
Yeah, that's just my name on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this topic this afternoon is something that it's about personal experiences of people.
It resonates with me. It's something I've always wanted to discuss with you.
And I would love to hear you, please.
Now, being part of this, of the Temple of Truth, has made me reflect. This was a while ago, because I actually started following you through during the NSAS movement. Yeah, and I stumbled across your channel through I think it's Mazi.
Oh, Mazi.
That's it. So, but my experience is, I was born in Lagos, but my parents are originally from Delta State. But I lived all my life in Lagos, and I am light skinned. So, growing up, I had experiences, and by virtue of the fact that in Lagos, you interact with Yorubas and all sorts. I'm going to be honest with you. I understand Yoruba than I understand my dad's language, right? But growing up, there were instances where you get called Omo Igbo, Omona, all those kind of words, and it was, to me, it was an issue, because I didn't see a reason why I was being called those things. Because as far as I was concerned, it didn't matter to me whether you were Igbo or Yoruba. And, Lagos being what it is, it was cosmopolitan in that all tribes lived in Lagos, right? So,
what age were you when you started noticing that sort of like profiling? Like, despite the fact that you are not Igbo, right? Like, are you right? So, like, you're not Igbo, from Delta, put it that way, okay? So, what age? Even though you were born in Lagos, and around that time, you probably didn't even hear who is who, right?
No.
When did you begin to like notice, observe, and say, well, this is profiling? Why are they calling me, like, when? What age? Can you remember?
I would say it was in my teenage days, because obviously
that's when you started observing it. Like, man, it seems to be like, why are they like profiling me? So what other things did you observe? Like any form of like discrimination, being singled out simply because of that you also observed? Like, was there?
The only discrimination I would say is when it got to obviously going to university and whatever, polytechnic or whatever. Obviously there were quotas, wasn't there? Like if you were from a certain geographical area in Nigeria, you're required to get higher marks than, say, someone from the north in order to get to
the requirements for admission, which is the quota system, right?
Absolutely.
So that was like a shocker to you as well. Did you? Because it felt normal. Because when I experienced it, right, it just felt like I don't know, something that was like, oh, maybe we are better. You know, it's because I'm from a place that we are more like intelligent. I don't know, as a kid.
Yeah.
But to you, you were just like, why? Or how did you feel?
I didn't understand it because because I'm going to be honest, I wasn't very academically sound when I was in Nigeria.
Right.
Now, I'm in this country. I've experienced a different way of learning, and you know, so it's
understandably so, man. I do. Go on.
So it's a case of you're sat there thinking, well, I don't really understand what's going on.
Right.
I actually,
like, why do I have to like do more, or why these guys have to do less? Like, is it because of where I come from? I said, yeah, it's because of where you come from, but why?
Absolutely. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have a friend who's also in the UK, right?
Right.
And he told me, this was a few months ago, that he had to, when he applied to go to university in Lagos, he had to basically change his state of origin in order to get admission into University of Lagos. And he's actually Yoruba. And he said he had to say he was from the north because obviously because of the system, you know, whatever it is.
Just to fill in the quota, because there are not many of them going to the university there. So that you could claim you are from Katsina and all that. You change that later as well. I mean.
Exactly. And you know, when we had this conversation, you obviously put two and two together, and then you start to understand how the system favors certain people. I mean, I don't, coming from a place of what, you know, enlightenment as to what I know now, the people growing up being called whatever I was called back then, I don't think it was coming from a place of, you know,
like
bigotry. No, I don't think it was. I think it was just more a case of ignorance. Right. What these kids were probably, what they thought, because you'd find that it's when you got into a dispute or into arguments, you start getting called names and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And at that point, you kind of.
For example, Victor put something up right here. Okay, it was I'll put it on the screen. Said names, you know, like names like Ajokuta Mamomi and Ofe Manu, you know. Yorubas will call the Igbos Ajokuta Mamomi. People eat stone without drinking water, which is referring to the, you know, to this strongness of your, their, what do you call it, the gari and all that. Sure, you get Ofe Manu means people who drink oil or something like that. Yeah. And that is that Yorubas who always cook with so much oil. You see all this stuff at the time, they were not really offensive. You get that? They were just like, you know, they're just like all these, you know, all these kind of like, you know, passive, abusive words, but they are not offensive, you know. So
you know,
now, go on.
So after obviously listening to you, after obviously, you know, being in a different society, you kind of realize, okay, Nigerians haven't moved on with the times. Okay, so there were certain words in this country that, you know, 20 years ago were acceptable, but you can't use them in today's world.
Like, you know, like I'm saying, right? All of this became weaponized. You get that now? Like they became weaponized, and at what stage? So, you know, they have always been there. You get that now? Like people have been existing, living together, making all these kind of like, you know, passes or jazz and what have you, or banters, as somebody put it, banters. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were never coming from the place of hatred. They were under deep-seated animosities, which people said were caused by the breakdown of trust pre the Civil War and post-Civil War. All of these for the generations of that era, who somehow, right, our parents in this case. And in somehow, they have their own deep-seated, you know, stuff. But They were not much pronounced, but maybe other these, you know, all of these other banters that we call banters back then. When I was growing up, they were also not coming from the place of hatred.
No,
right?
no.
So people got married. They made children. They made families. So now we have people who have personal stories. Now, I'm talking about, you see, and you know, the worst case scenario is that this is not limited to Yoruba Igbos. It is actually widespread, right? Among other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. Like it is that widespread. When you go to the Ijaws, Ishekiris, Yorubas, if you go to the other upper north, you see the Nupes, the Jokons, the Beroms, what do you call them? Like when you go into those places as well, you get to see the same level of animosity, right? But theirs are not publicly pronounced like we are currently witnessing between, you know, Yorubas, Igbos. Children who were produced from such relationship, right? Some of them are grown up now, but they have the experiences that until they share them, some of us will never believe they actually endured such, all because their parents were from both, side of the aisle, right? Go on.
I obviously mine was not. It's not that deep in terms of, you know.
Yours is just the general profiling.
Which it is
in itself, right? They're like kind of like a shock to your system as well. Like you grew up in a place where you didn't know that you would be kind of like profiled, and so at a point you started feeling like, oh, am I different from these other people? Why am I being treated differently? And at a very young age, you didn't even tell me the age again. Like the first time you said you were in your teens, right? That was the moment you started noticing.
Yeah, because you know, the things probably happened before I started getting conscious of it, but obviously it didn't really matter to me. But
it didn't really matter. But you started paying conscious attention, like about why, like, you know, why am I being treated differently?
Yeah, because to a certain extent I can speak Yoruba to a certain extent, but I understand Yoruba completely.
Right.
I mean, by virtue of the fact that
you were I grew up, you were raised there. Exactly, you grew up there.
Exactly. So it's again, I take it back to the fact that I don't believe that Nigeria as a society. Because so let's take the fag word for instance. In 20 years ago, you could call someone a fag.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? In the UK, it wasn't that much of an issue. But you can't do that today.
No, you can't. You can't.
That's because society has moved on from what was acceptable. And until we have leaders or people that are willing to change the rules and the society to the point where, because in Nigeria,
rather than exploiting it, weaponizing
exploiting it. Exactly. And in Nigeria, you know, the rule is as long as the majority are doing it, it becomes normal. Right? That's the rule. That's the general rule.
As long as we are benefiting from it and it is not hurting us, but others, so be
others, yeah, exactly. So it's that's where I think
people have started campaigning that, you know, don't let your children marry from this tribe or that ethnic nationality. Consider their future and their children. You wouldn't want their children to be called, you know, fourth class citizens in the land that was supposed to be their birth land. Sure, you get. So people are already doing that kind of campaigns. And that is to tell us that maybe if people who have experienced this level of discriminations are speaking up, begin to speak up, then the society will understand that we are doing more harms than good, right? If we decide to begin to profile the children of interracial, intertribal marriages, all for this political, what do you call this political agenda. So the politics will come to an end someday, and all these political players will probably end someday, but the damages will not. If you begin to indoctrinate young people to see their peers as half-blood, tainted blood, right?
Maiyegun, do you know what I honestly think?
Yeah.
I honestly think the younger generation do not give a toss about where you're from. They don't. I don't think they care. I don't. I genuinely think they don't. They don't care because of the society
right.
that they live
if you
in.
see most of those who are propagating this bigotry online, they are of
It's
older folk in their 40s, in their 50s,
exactly.
and and above.
Exactly. So it's those ones that are still sort of that have experienced or that were indoctrinated by their parents and so on and so forth. They're the ones that I don't think that this generation, all they want to do is they want to be able to afford things for themselves. They don't care about any of that. And it's I think it's a matter of time. The older ones are going to die off.
I appreciate your time too, man. Thank you so much, for helping to engage in this conversation. Okay,
no worries,
man. Right.
Well done for what you're doing, mate. Keep it up.
Man. Stay safe.
All right.
Have a good one,
Bye.
sir. So indeed, we have those, okay, who somehow, like many others, right, believes that if something hasn't happened to them, it is probably not happening, right? But it is happening. There are real victims. And I call them victims simply because, except that the society we sort of come from, we consider this as the barest of all worries or all problems. So they will just have you to like soak it up or, wrap it up and just be a man or be a woman. Or it is something that somehow, right, in that same society that all of us are coexisting in, right, we have people who are, not because of the fault of theirs, going to be, shortchanged, you see, by some dark-souled mofos, okay, who are also hypocrites as well. They won't admit to you that they are doing all of this because somehow, right, they are projecting their own personal fear and failure on the rest of you, making you feel like, you see, they are scared or worried that they will lose their political capital in that space, right? But continue to pass on or project that same fear on you, okay, in such a way that you now have a society, and if they probably continue to have access to power, they will have the chance to continue to sort of discriminate. And when I talk about this discrimination, right, there's something that you probably would not understand except when your identity is put to question, when your identity is clear as hair. So from my own side, as a Yoruba man, right, we believe that the father, right, is the owner of a child, right? I know that sounds like kind of like masculinity stuff, or what do you call that, misogynistic or something like that. But it is culturally believed that the identity of a child, right, is earned from that of his or a father, right? But in Igbo land, for example, the identity of a child, right, is that of the mom and also of the father too. So in their case, right, if your mom is Igbo and your dad is Yoruba, and then your dad's family are acting up, like if you're experiencing something that is untoward, right, or you probably get rejected for some reason, you won't be rejected in some part of Igbo land. I don't know if it is blanket or not, but the point here is that as a child, you don't choose who to be your parents. So we are now in a country where, all these miscreants are doing everything possible to weaponize this tribal, ethnic sort of supremacy or hatred. And none of this, I've said this many times, okay, none of this has anything to do with Yoruba's preservation. For example, they project fear, out of what you can call the inferiority sort of complex, right? So they project a fear, the fear of dominance, something that doesn't actually exist. So some of them have told themselves, for those who are the Ronukus in Yoruba land, for example, right? They projected so much fear, right, that the Igbos are conquering. They said the Igbos are trying to conquer Yoruba land, right, through marriages. Okay. And you know that is not really true, right? People have been marrying themselves. Families have been like coming together from all area. But that is what these guys who call themselves Yoruba conservatives or whatever it is, they are mostly faceless, just online miscreants. But somehow, they are effective. They are so effective enough that some of the Yoruba politicians, maybe not all of them, because it seems like apart from Olajuwon, the Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly, they are coward under their pressure, right? You see, have Oyo State Governor. His wife is from, okay, not Igbo, but to this Ronukus, his wife is Igbo. She's from River State, right? Who else is there? The current governor of Osun State, Adeleke. Yeah, his wife is also ahead. Is Igbo, right? So their efforts right now, which I don't know how they got to that, the speaker in Oyo State, right? Their campaign is that, you know, if you have any Igbo spouse, right? If you're Igbo, I mean, if your wife is Igbo or your husband is Igbo, don't even bother to run for any office in Yoruba land. Now, I would like to hear, right, to those of you who are from the other side too, like you are Igbos, right? Or let's say your mom is Igbo, your dad is Yoruba, and on the Igbo side, how as your relatives, how have they been towards you, your personal experience? So this is very open. The line is open as well. So if you want to be part of the conversation, okay, there is a number on the screen. It is a WhatsApp call only. You can use that. Share your personal experience. Children, I mean, if we have to come to a time and say, maybe this is it, make it official. All right, save the future generation from what will likely be an impending war, sort of. You see, because if children who are full-blooded Igbos, full-blooded Yorubas, are discriminated against in such a way that they are denied their their normal rights in what they call in the places they call home. So there will be, I believe, a piece of a pushback, or at some point. So the reason why we also need to talk about this is that if you don't really have people who share their personal experiences genuinely, I mean, if somebody is lying, you can tell, right? When their stories are not matching up, right? You can tell. But now, when their stories actually matches and it's true, you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I've never seen it this way before. Wow. So maybe we can begin to do right. Because what is there? Even if Nigeria break up tomorrow, people are still going to be intermarrying. Do you get that now? It's going to be like you from Yoruba Nation, right? Or Yoruba Republic, or Duduwa Republic, or whatever name we choose to bear then, right? I'm just saying, right? As a country. And then the Biafra Republic as a country, right? You are still going to have, what do you call them? The Fulanis, the Hausas, people from all tribes, people from all countries who are still going to live in that Yoruba land. Like legitimately, I'm not talking about those ones with guns in the forest anymore. Like, if you have real country with borders, right? You can choose who comes in and who goes out, right? So you're still going to have all these tribes, all of them that will be residing in Biafra Republic as well, you know, following the law, everybody obeying the law. And if you want to go to the Hausa land, the Arewa Republic, same thing. Yeah, you will still see the Igbos, you will still see the Yorubas, you will see people from all over the places who are also going to be living in that republic. Sure, you get. So what thing there is that, you know, it shouldn't breed any form of hatred that, you know, anyway, in a short, sort of in a short way, right, we should continue to push it to the front burner, whereby when people know there is a problem, well, there is a chance that they will be interested in providing a solution. People have been denied opportunity, and people have been given opportunities too. And that's one thing about, you know, sort of like a project like this, right? Where you want to conduct a general opinion, right? You have people to share their personal experiences. And of course, it will still show, the data will still show that something is just not right, right? Where, for instance, you have 10 people who are saying the same thing, sharing the same experience. I'm talking about experiences that are unacceptable, right? Discrimination against simply because, you know. So, and then you have maybe another 2 people that will say, oh, mine is different. I've got this great, fantastic family. They don't like, you know, they treated my mom so great. I saw them show love to my mom and then, you know, my family and all that. And to us, myself and my siblings, in fact, I'm working in one of my uncle's business or one of my uncle's office right now at so and so. And this my uncle is, you know what I mean? Like people will share this and you'll be like, oh, that's great. Another person will tell you, it was my uncle, right, who actually opened a business for my mom and also sent us to school after the passing of our dad. And my mom is Igbo. My dad family are Yoruba, and they are great people and all that. Personal experience. And you say, oh, that's brilliant. So it is through this sharing of this personal experience that then you can say on all sides, so, right, everybody can be like, oh, there were actually great stuff, but it is still a problem that people need to work on. And hopefully, yeah, we can protect the interest of the innocent children that have been brought to this world, not by their own choosing, you know. But the campaign of hatred started a few years back, all right? You remember when they put this out and they said citizenship class in Yoruba portion of Nigeria. They had first class. These are full-blooded Yorubas. If your mama and your papa are Yorubas, you are first-class citizen. Second-class citizens, Yorubas from Benin Republic and Togo, second class. Third-class citizens, Yorubas from Trinidad, Cuba, St. Lucia, Brazil, Guyana, Haiti, and Puerto Rico. Fourth-class citizens, Yorubas with Yoruba fathers. I mean, half Yorubas with Yoruba fathers. That's fourth-class citizens. Fifth-class citizens, half Yoruba with fathers. What does that even mean? Half Yoruba with fathers from, okay, with fathers from North America, South America, and Europe. Sixth-class citizens, the Bogu people who have the Yoruba defeated the Fulani. Honestly. Seventh-class citizens, half Yoruba with fathers from Africa and Asia. Eighth-class citizens, Igala, Ebira, Nupe, Kanuri, and Bene people. Ninth-class citizens, half Yorubas with fathers from the Middle East. Allah, he even go Iraq before he finally mentioned the Igbos. He went to Iraq. Like if your fathers are from Iraq, Iran, you are ninth-class citizen. 10th-class citizens, half Yorubas with fathers from Hausa land. 11th-class citizens are half Yorubas with fathers from Igbo land. That's Yinka. So this idea was pushed years back, and it's currently like it has amassed a life of its own as we speak. in which we have some unscrupulous elements on social media who are pushing this as well. And their own argument is that the Igbos are doing worse. There is no evidence per se. Okay? To them, the Igbos hate the Yorubas as well. They are doing worse to our people. So that's why I'm asking those of you who have had the personal experience, because your experience is personal if you were born. So, you know, either of these parents, right? Yorubas and Igbos. So you can tell us what your own childhood experience were and how did you overcome them? Sorry, I just missed one caller there. One sec. I think that should work. So yeah, the line is the same. It's on your screen. You can share your personal experience in this. So the effort is to try, okay, is to try and, you know, help our own children, right, that are also vulnerable to some of these toxicities on social media and off social media. A lady shared a story, but it's about two of them. I'll pick one. So a lady shared a story. She's of Yoruba mom and Ebira, yes, Ebira, sorry, Yoruba dad and Ebira mom. And you know the Ebiras are like from Kogi State and all that, right? So, our mom and her dad kind of live in Ibadan or your state. So she got an NYSC posting to Lagos State. So because of that, she found a job in Lagos. So after service, all right, she decided to get a place of her own. And she did get few. But somehow, despite the fact that even though her name, which was like a peace, it's like somebody bearing peace, Ademola or Prince Adeyemi or something like that. And then, but the landlord was like, you look like Igbo. I can't give you my house. She was like, no, I'm Yoruba. My mom is Igbo. I said, your mom is Igbo. Well, sorry, I can't rent my house to you. Now that is external discrimination, right? Something that normally they will tell you is against their law, but people have experienced it. Yes, they have. Sorry if your call keeps bouncing back. It shouldn't. Thank you. So people have experienced that. So I want people who have, you know, let's say you are, again, this is not just about the outdoor kind of like discrimination now, okay? I'm talking about from family. So another example, a young man said during this your 2023 charade, right? So he said he was posting about Peter Obi online, like campaigning for Peter Obi, precisely. And then one distance aunt just called him. And like, hello? So you are promoting Imo Igbo, Abi? So Imo Igbo is what you want to vote for. And he said he froze because his mom is Igbo, his dad is Yoruba. And this aunt, like from the side of his father, like it was like, yeah, it was like, but if you are talking like this, like, do you know that I'm also like half Igbo and all that? Oh, you see what we'll do to all of you. All of you Igbos, ungrateful people, very wicked, enemy of auntie. It's like you are just seated there like, this is my family, or this person is my family. So he shared that and it was like, even after the whole thing, this day, the same auntie has been trying to reach out, kind of probably to make peace because, you know, things didn't go well. Anyway, Tifnubu has like messed everybody up, right? So now, trying to kind of reconcile with him, and it was like that shock that gripped him is to remind him that no matter how much they pretend to love you, they will remind you that you are not one of them. So I want people to tell us what it is like on both sides. You know what I mean? I know some of you probably, there are experiences that you just want to take to your grave. Fine. But if you feel like sharing them with us, it will be great. You know what I mean? People can understand that these are not just talks. There are actual real life victims. And if it is on both sides, call it out. Here, hello.
Yeah, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you, Baba?
Now Ifeanyi from Gabon.
Ifeanyi from, say that again.
Gabon from Libreville.
Gabon. I thought I heard you
Yes.
wrong. Okay. How you doing, Baba?
Okay. I'm fine. You, Uncle?
Well, I'm very well. Oh, I'm here. You know, surviving.
Okay.
Thanks so much for asking.
Okay.
Those. Please.
Okay. Okay, no problem. As for the topic, well, me, the first time I called into this, how do I call it, channel?
Yep.
You know, I don't know if you go still remember that time I explained that I had this feeling or this thought that, you know, how Yoruba people treat, you know, should I say, elders that are foolish elders, and how Igbos treat foolish elders. So me, I was thinking wrongly. You know, coming from the Igbo side, I was like, okay, here in Igbo land, if an elder begins to misbehave, we'll remind him that he is just a human being, and that's kind of, we'll treat him as a foolish person, you know. Then I also told you that I went to nairaland.com and I interacted with some Yorubas there, and the feeling I was getting from them was that we are wrong for, you know, kind of trying to chastise that elderly person for behaving badly. And in Yoruba land, they're like, they still are, you know, like worship him, and no matter how bad his behavior is, you are the one who corrected me that no, that is not Yoruba culture. No. And I was like, oh, is that true? I don't know if you can remember. It's been a long time anyway.
Yeah, there are those who love to push the idea of, you know, Yorubas are supposed to respect elders, right? It doesn't matter the attitude or but that is not true. And I gave you an example. I said, if it was true, right, you will not see Yoruba will not coin the word Agbaya. Agbaya means useless elders.
Yes, yes.
You get that now? So
exactly.
If we have respect for just everyone, all Tom, Dick, and Harry, you get that now? The Yoruba will not have a word for Agbaya, Agbaoshi, or this useless
that's true.
leaders.
Yes, because, you know,
well, go on.
These words, then they shape, these words kind of, let's say, it shapes the culture or shows the culture of the people. Because if they don't know it, then they will not have a word for it. So that's it. That's anyway, what I want to say is that, you see, in a country, there are usually three categories of people. You have the idiots. You also have the tribalists and the citizens. So the idiots are the ones who, you know, they kind of, they act, they do whatever they like. They don't care about the consequences. They don't give a damn about, yes, they don't give a damn. They just do it, you know, kind of on impulse, or just because fun, or that they see other people doing it. So they're like, okay, let's just do it anyway. And then nothing bigger. While the tribalists, these ones are the ones who are like, my little group only. The only thing that is good for my, or he thinks or she thinks that is good for that is little fiefdom or group. That is the only thing he or she is interested in. So, and he would do, whether it's criticism or anything, just he doesn't want any kind of problem to, kind of go near that side, if you get what I mean. So if there is one member of their group that does something wrong, the whole of them will be like, no, you said that. I can't think.
Leave him alone. He's not the first person. Leave him alone.
Voila, that kind of thing. Then you have the actual citizens. These ones are the ones that like, okay, this thing I'm doing now, how will it affect my country? Will it affect my country badly? If yes, then okay, I won't do that. Not because I don't have the power to do it, or I mean, he doesn't have the power, or he can't do it for fun, or that kind of thing. But it's just like, no.
This is not
this
right.
Thing is, it's not right.
People, it's going to hurt the country.
So, unfortunately for Nigeria, we have more of useful idiots and tribalists. As for the citizens, you can actually count them with your fingers. If the number too much, just add your toes. That's it.
That's extra.
That's it. That's it. So a country where you have more tribalists and idiots, sorry, you are not going anywhere. Or than citizens, you are not going anywhere, bro. Not going anywhere backwards.
Anywhere. There's nothing national.
At all.
You say, okay, we have so many differences. So, but you see this one. Now, waiting they unite us with this one. We know they joke with time. The people's welfare, good governance, security, and all of that stuff.
Yes.
You know, they say we know they joke with time or other things. But no, there's nothing called one Nigeria that unites.
No, just everyone just a clash out.
Like if Nigeria break up tomorrow now, let me be honest. What do you think an average Nigeria would lose?
I don't see anything. I don't see any. I can't exactly say.
But if Nigeria should break up, then they will lose that.
I can't really see anything. No, be saying a passport way good. Say okay, you are traveling how you want. Okay, if you break up tomorrow, you might lose that. No, there's nothing. Electricity you don't have. Nothing. I mean, what's it there to fight for? I don't understand. What's it there to fight for?
Thank you.
Anyway,
so fine.
I say make I call in. You don't take
it. And now it's Gabon.
It's okay. Then they prepare for election on 12th.
All right. Take it easy, man. All right.
You know wahala. Now. Bye bye. Take care.
So that's Ifeanyi from Gabon. I am still waiting for my first caller who is going to tell me he or she is, it's a beautiful product of intertribal or religious intertribal or religious marriage or family. You see, this is not limited to the Igbos, Yorubas as well, all right? You will say, I was kind of having this chat with a friend again this afternoon. And this friend, I was like, we also have the Yorubas and the Fulanis who also intermarried. And my friend was like, no. He believes that more Hausas are married to Yorubas than you can mention Fulanis. I don't know. So we have those of you also like intermarriage, interracial or no, intertribal or the interethnic marriages from that part too. You tell us, how is the experience? Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun Baba.
Hello, sir. How are you, Baba?
I'm a second time caller. I'm calling from Japan.
Fantastic. How is the Japanese today?
They are fine. They are very
What time
fine.
is it right now, Baba?
It's around 11:17.
11:17 p.m.
Yeah.
Wow. So your own night.
I'm even happy that I got you today. You know, your second program is always as early as 5 a.m. here, and every day all I do is rewatch. You understand? It's only
Well,
I don't have time.
We don't have too many of us this afternoon. We don't really have
in
the afternoon, so it gives the opportunity to everybody who might want to chip in something on the platform. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us.
As always.
Go on.
I have a brother in the UK. He's all those we describe as so much educated and they know everything. But I'm surprised he visited me here last August. Do you know what I saw? I saw him watching your program.
Oh.
I was like,
introduced him.
No, I was not. I was surprised. I was just chipping at the phone. I said, Maiyegun live. I was like, I don't understand anything. I didn't even ask him, do you know this guy? Because I know whosoever that guy is watching, that guy, what he's always saying on his program is 99% correct. Trust me. He doesn't listen to anyhow. He doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't even waste his time listening to any news. But as I saw him listening to you, I was like, okay, that means Maiyegun is a real guy. He's a real genius. I was like, well, okay. Thank God. So, like what I always comment about you is your courage. You always want to be strict. You always want to be strict. You always want to be neutral. You are not friends to the Yoruba. You are not friends to the Igbo. You are not friends to the Hausa. None of the ethnic group you are friends with. Whoever comes on your way, in a way you don't like it, you give it as it is. You tell them what you have in mind. Of course. And what I always like is that how you always miss that Yoruba to cost them. I'm an Igbo person. I don't understand that Yoruba very much well, even though I lived Yoruba for 10 years. But that
some things they are not, I mean, they are better said in Yoruba, especially when you know the audience you are directing it at, right? So wherever they are, you know, it is like this. Say somebody, because I'll give you an example, right? We know that the Ronukus, the Lagos Ababakus, right? They don't like me. And we do. I know that, and I don't pretend about it. And they also know that I don't like them. Like we both know that we don't kind of like ourselves. But they still watch me. They still come here, right? But somehow, this is the only place where they can actually get accurate information as it is, even if it makes them uncomfortable. So they still come here. And sometimes they want me to sing the praise of Tifnumbu when they feel like it's done something that is worthy of a mention. Okay. So because I know that they're always here, and most times people watches Maiyegun, they watches Maiyegun either in their living room with their family members, and sometimes they just watch it strictly like on their own. So when I want to, when my message is about them, like I want them, I'll just like you, right? I'll say it in Yoruba. And you know something? It's like somebody who is the Tifnumbu supporter now, right? Adding to watching me. Maybe around that time is the time I'm like, you Tifnumbu supporters, you know what I mean? You are unfortunate people.
Yeah,
one by one. I'm gonna say one by one. Now Ogun supposed to finish and kill all of you. You that is watching, you know, you don't turn your head. You, exactly you. You're supposed to show for Dano, you know. So wherever they are, they are likely going to be saying the same thing back to me. You get that? Like, you know, it's like you are watching somebody and say, God punish you too. It is unfortunate too. But you know, I didn't beg them to watch me. So I kind of like that. I wish somebody would be like with any of them someday and they will record the video, that exact spot where I'm cursing them, right? And they are cursing back. You know, I can't hear them, but they can hear me. So I do that deliberately.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Some sort of words you always use, like
the funny one is, you know, those funny ones are the ones that will say, Maiyegun, you don't need to be cursing people. Listen, you need to be, I'll say, now Google kill you too. Because I know, say, you that is telling me not to. It is because somehow you are among the people I'm talking about, but you are still disguising. But when I curse them like that, you know, say, curse is the catch person with the disguise as well, right? You are disguising that you don't like Tifnumbu, but I said, now go blind your left eye. All of them way they follow him. And you are just now going to blind your eye too. Or you're like, Maiyegun, you don't need to be cursing people. Listen, I say, I know you'll be one of them. Now go blind both your eyes. Oh yeah, get angry. So I do that deliberately.
Really. So sometimes I always like, if you say something, I was like, I bought into life. Like the one you always say that you are born to make people angry.
I know.
That is
that's sure. Get it now. Sometimes people who sabi me very well will say, Maiyegun, please, Maiyegun, continue. Don't read comments again. Because once I pick your comment, I get answer. And I'm like, I'm getting somebody angry right now. Somehow, I don't know where you are. I don't know what you are doing. You are watching me right now. And I'm actually pissing you off. That means I'm doing something. You know? Like you're seated there. Exactly. I am talking about the criminals destroying Nigeria, destroying lives, and all of that, right? And the way I'm saying it, somehow makes you uncomfortable. You are angry. You sit down there, they watch your phone right now, looking at me, and you are angry at me. But there's nothing where these people never wish happened to me. You know, like, you will see what will happen to you in 7 days. No. You know what I mean? So I do that once in a while to just rile them up. But not many people understand.
Of course.
I'm not shake out.
What I actually love about you is that no one will escape to your wrath as far as they are doing a bad thing.
I mean,
sometimes I always scrutinize what you always say, and trust me, they are correct. It's not that you're lying against anybody. No. Even the ones you not get through, at least you not get the right information. You always cut it halfway. Yep. You always tell them, I don't have the whole information.
Exactly. If I have more.
Yeah, exactly.
I never get evidence of this one, no, but when I do, I'll bring it to.
Of course. And whenever it comes, you always give. So all these things, I always tell my brother, you not get money for card. I go recharge you. I make they listen to this guy. I beg, they get information. Whatever happen, this is at least 99%. All the things where they say, they make sense. You understand? So whenever I tell them, they always say, okay, give us that and I make we watch. You understand? I always give them data to watch because whenever I hear you say all the things where they talk, and the thing I want to beg you to say, because I know say all these Euro news, now I will not say even fraction, it's just tiny group of people. Yeah. They not even reach 20 when they do this thing. When they do this, because I live for Lagos for 10 years. I stayed with Yoruba people. No be say now Yoruba people be my friends, and I know how they behave. And they sleep for their house. They sleep for my house. We they eat together. I never experienced this kind of thing in my life. This 2023. I was surprised. I say this kind of people they exist in Yoruba land.
What is going on? Like, is this real?
I say myself, is this real? Are these people Yoruba or they come from different places? Because I never see this Ronukus in my life before. They will just make up something and say now what you talk. Say now what you do. And if you check yourself, you will come to surprise. Now me be this. Now me they talk. Now me they do it. If I read some of their comments like this, I go just they get angry. I say, why? What can be this? This is not what I'm now. It's nobody win election or somebody.
We are talking about grown-up men, men in their 40s, 50s, 60s.
You people will just look at somebody and laugh.
For Surulere in Lagos. After the disgrace of Tifnumbu in Lagos, right? Like he was defeated in front of his house in Bodilon, the back of his house in Bodilon. He was defeated in Ikeja. He was defeated in Alimosho local government area. That is their base, right? Surulere local government chairman publicly said his wife is Igbo. That by March 18 or something, they want to do governorship election. If to kill the Igbos, he will kill his wife first. Like he said that, na chairman, this one will be tout where they talk, na chairman, local government. That's how that thing worked that time. Like, they would do everything to protect Lagos. They would do everything to shake. Then the next thing was like, my wife is Igbo. So I won't kill all the Igbos now. Now my wife I will kill first. The mother of of his children. You get that?
And the wife is still there with her.
I mean, if the children who actually sees their father as a mentor and other, right? Like, how does anybody actually care how they feel? Like, does that mean that? Like, another one said, I've got 6 children with an Igbo woman. these horrible people. He said, I will kill all of them and my wife first before I enter town to start killing. It was like, on top waiting. Like, waiting, go, would you say, do you understand? Like, would you say would motivate you to do that? Is that a right? Is that mental problem? This doesn't make any sense. That's why I want to hear from people, right, who are indeed, and I'll keep trying this. I mean, probably we're going to do more of this in the afternoon these days, okay? So have people
exactly. So yeah, so that we that have like 8 to 9 hours.
Those of you who actually lived in Lagos, did business in Lagos, mingled with Yorubas, like you said, until 2023. Most of the things you are seeing today, you are just like, so does that mean they hated me this much? Do you get that now? And these guys are, you know, the saddest thing is that I've not seen any Yorubas in group that came out and said, this happened to us from this other, you know, tribe or ethnic and what have you per se. There is no scenario that these Ronukus have not really painted. No scenario to say the Igbos are doing worse to the Yorubas. I heard. Do you get that now? Like, oh, you don't understand. Is it because you don't? Is it because you continue to condemn the Yorubas? Do you know what the Igbos are doing too? They are worse. What they are doing is worse. Go and ask. Can you come and ask? I was like, okay, you know what? I will ask the product of those relationships themselves to share. At least your mama, your papa, not your enemy. Share you get. Go on.
Really, you know, my cousin brother, my village. I am from Imo State. Then we have the Ikeduru local government,
right?
And we have Umude as a village, typical village. My cousin brother married a Yoruba girl, living there as I'm talking to you now, living there with 2 kids. If you see how with the time they are going to wedding, I am the guy that pick up my car, take them to church, bring them, come back. And if anytime I go back, I always visit them. What do they want? I always give them if I have. Any day they want to go, anywhere the husband wants to go, I always say, do you want to go somewhere? Okay, take my car, go where you want to go, and come back. No single discrimination. You can't even know that guy.
Somebody said the best thing is for everybody to marry from their tribe. Okay, agreed, right? Agreed. Let everybody marry from their tribe. But what happened to those who have already been consummated through the relationship of my papa na Yoruba, my mama na Igbo, or my mama na Edo, my papa na Yoruba, or my mama? Now we are talking about it because they have lives too. Does that mean that they are just going to pass out as nothing in their life simply because of the circumstance of their birth? So that, you know, people should consider that when they are making their own suggestions, okay? So what happened to the ones who are born into it and they are being told that they are not full-blooded this in their own father's land or their mother's land? You know?
It's really crazy. Michael, let me just give other people a chance. But please, what I want to beg you of is see all those our southeastern governors, please. I don't know whether they mercy for them. You know, see what thing that they do. If they mercy for them, you know they too go there.
Now because you see, like you said yourself, right? I react to what is already in public. Only a few times I had to say some certain things that I believe they are like, you know, by any means, you know, plausible for us. So what I mean is that their actions, what they are doing, how much of that is directly affecting the people when they happen, kind of really are things that, you know, catches my own attention, okay? Except when people say, oh, I have this, I have that, let's run it and share it with the world, you get? But I will possibly feature them more. Since somebody like you noticed that it seems like it's not, so I will feature them more in our subsequent you know, interactions. Baba?
Okay, thank you so much. Keep up the good work, man.
God bless you. Stay safe, okay? You have a very good night.
My regard to your family.
And to yours too. Thanks a lot.
All right.
So that's interesting, right? Again, you also have the chance of calling in. Okay, the number is on your screen. You see, my own concern, right, is not about just if this is wrong or that is right. Not just about that. My primary intention is for us to actually admit it, that it does exist. And in all of this, there are existing victims too. And these existing victims were children. If some of them are grown-ups now, right? Simply because somehow they figured it out to cope with it, live with it. And as much as they are still trying to figure it out, like, but why? Why am I being treated like this? Why is it that somehow, right, we have what you can call like an established kind of xenophobia, right? Now that the criminal politicians are exploiting it itself, which is dangerous, right? Exploiting it for their own advantage, weaponizing it for their own use, and all of that means that we are reaching that stage, right? Is it called the equilibrium stage or something? We are reaching that stage whereby the downward spiral, if number one, awareness is not raised, number two, it is not nipped in the bud. You know, they have succeeded enough to begin to put it in the psyche of people that if you are not full-blooded, that's what they call it, a full-blooded Yoruba, for example, you can't run for any public office. And that one is extreme, right? Okay. Now, that you are a Yoruba man, now married to an Igbo woman, you have disqualified yourself from becoming governor of any state. Remember I said that this insignificant miscreants, right? I don't know how they did it. You know, offline, they do not have any form of a political capital somehow. But online, they have gained enough momentum that they bullied a speaker of House of Assembly to delete the post where he was eulogizing or praising the efforts of the Igbo community, who are his own mother's kinsmen, right? He had to delete it and he had to put up another hypocritical post to re-explain himself. To who? It's like just explaining yourself to the void. So feeding the troll. So if that things can be like that, there is a chance, maybe, that they do have some other conservative-minded, what do you call it? They call themselves conservatives, right? But you know, there's a worry there. There's a question mark. You see, when people call themselves conservatives, right? Self-preservation and all of that stuff. One of the things that makes Oyibos who claim to be conservatives, is because somehow they believe in financial autonomy or liberty, whereby the wealth, some call it a white supremacist or something like that. Some call it a white capitalism, something that means some group of people, right, coveted wealth, and somehow that wealth, the limitation of the access to that wealth, right, is controlled by them in a way that they are doing so to preserve themselves and their generations unborn, whereby, you know, they will be land or power or wealth or and all of that stuff. You do that to spread their prosperity among your people, right? But when you see these rogues who are claiming to be conservative, Yoruba conservatives, as they are spreading their hatred online, offline, and all of that, these are dredged of the society. These are pure, you know, sewage dwellers, miscreants, who are like, oh, somebody called them parasites, right? Living off the host. And this host in this regard is the narrative of hatred. But you can, I don't know if that's even right to say, right? But let's say they are using the tribal, ethnic, hateful rhetorics, right? To push their political agenda and all that. So you might say, well, that's politics. But when things begin to get into a stage where your birthright is now questioned, and somehow, you're going to be, it's going to be like an Holocaust. The Holocaust is like maybe one day they will gain power, and they will just say everybody whose mothers or fathers are not Yorubas, we need to cleanse them because we don't want tainted blood in Yoruba land. They will have the power if they have access to power, and they will just march everybody to guillotine, gas chamber, and they will just smoke everybody up just to cleanse the place. So that is how dangerous it is. So this platform is, to help raise awareness around it, stop living in denial of it. And those of you who are the direct victims, your parents are of mixed ethnic nationalities, right? I'm saying, like, you are of mixed, your parents of different background. So when you speak up like this, right, it is going to be a two-way wins, okay? The first one is those who are living in denial, right? They would not be able to continue to live in that denial because what you say, how you say it, will continue to ring bells in their ears. Like, I heard that on Maiyegun's diary. I heard that person's, experience, and I can't believe that's happening. I can't believe that, man. I never saw that. Then you say, oh, is that what was happening then when I think I was about 9 years old, right? I remember an incident whereby so happened. So, oh, I never thought it was a thing. So that's for those who are unaware, like. Then for those people who are aware, okay, and somehow they know it's bad, or somehow they are living in denial, telling themselves that, or maybe it's not that bad, or maybe they are doing worse in the other places. So when you share your story like that, it puts all of us possibly into your shoes, and then we can begin to maybe understand the gravity, right, of this idea. And yes, you can say, I am doing this because I also have mixed children. Many of us have mixed children. And as a Yoruba man, right, for everywhere I have my seed, right, I believe that they still carry the blood that is of Yoruba, and therefore they are full-blooded Yorubas. So those of you who also have same, and if you don't, in the future, it may be your own children, right? So when you now have some of these unfortunate miscreants pushing such kind of like a narrative, even though some of them are even pushing it from far away, America and this UK, just so you know, some of those who are pushing this narrative of, this particular people are caused, these ones are caused, these ones want to come and enslave us, these ones hate us, and all of these rhetorics you see on social media, majority of them don't even live in the contraption. They live in white man's land. I mean, like white man's land, right? Where, what do you call it? Where some of them are very, very vocal when the discrimination against them because of the color of their skins becomes, public. You will see them so loud. They tell you a lot about how the whites hate you, hate them, and blah, 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 and other stuff. But from the corner of their different homes abroad, they are pushing the narratives of hatred. They are not, some of them even have, other people from, they also have children in their family, member of their family, right, who are of different other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. They do. But when it comes to this bigotry, they will proudly tell you that if anything should happen tomorrow, for example, if there's war tomorrow, they will kill their family members first. I have actually read worse stuff people have posted on social media on this subject. They're very strong about the hatred, and they continue to project the hatred by telling you that, oh, they hate us, so they hate us, so you better, you don't understand. These people hate us, so I want to know what it is like. We want to know what it is like for an average person who was born into these mixed families. I've had people who have had their own personal experiences. They've lived in Yoruba land, the Igbos, and they will tell you, some will tell you how good the experience was for them, how that experience changed their lives forever, that this level of bigotry, hatred you are seeing today everywhere is a shocker for them. But then when they begin to kind of roll it back, they will be like, oh, they used to say this to me. They used to say Omo Igbo. They used to call me Omo Igbo. They used to call me this or that. I never used to mind. But I think it's making sense to me now that they were actually like mocking me or something. Now that's the reality of today, right? So the reason why people should share their own experiences is that, you see, there are so many of us who have never really had personal contacts, personal relationships with any other tribe per se than what we were told. On all sides, right? And people are forming opinion based on this. And these opinions they are making, they are also making some decisions based on these opinions. Hateful opinions or hateful decisions. Here is emoji. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good afternoon and good morning from here. Good morning, bro. Maiyegun, my own experiences are at the airport. You know, I'm leaving. I was about to board my plane. So everybody, they have checked my passport. You know how it is in Moritala Airport. People are like, people you don't even know what they're doing there. They're all standing, checking passport without computer, anything, any gadgets, asking you for your passport, So I was just lucky that day, and it's like although I'm happy, I was excited to leave the country. That was not I've been coming and going because I do go every year. So this day I was so happy. I had my phone in Lagos. So I got to the airport. So I wasn't angry, no frustration. My luggage was like 23, not more, that you begin to remove and beg and the stress those type of stress there. So I was so free, mind and head. That's why I didn't get into that trap. So when I got to that place, one guy now said I should show him my passport. I gave him my passport. After like 1 meter, another guy asked me about my passport. And after that one, another immigration guy, it was a Yoruba guy, he now said to me, look at my passport. I said, but these guys have checked my passport. Well, you checking my passport. The next lady is the one that is going to give me my boarding pass. So I don't know why you guys are standing like trees here, asking for everybody's passport. The guy now look at my passport, look at my face. He now put the passport down. He now said, is it not you people that used to call Nigeria zoo? So it was like, let me get provoked, so I'll miss my flight, or maybe I'll get into trouble with DSS or whatever. That time, Nandikano was so vocal, so loud. I think that was 2020 or 2019 or 2020 that thing happened, January. So I kept quiet. I don't know what to say. I said, God, please, can you give me wisdom to answer this man? I don't want to get provoked here. I didn't know that the guy standing behind me was a doctor. That time I was in Europe. He was a doctor traveling to America. So the guy had everything. He kept quiet, listening. So, and I said to him, you want to put me in trouble? Is that what you want? Because I asked for passport. I didn't do anything. I just gave you the passport. So what is the essence of calling Nigeria zoo? Is it because you saw my name? He didn't say anything. He put the passport down beside him like this, and he said, yeah, you people call Nigeria zoo. You know, I was like, oh, okay. If you mention
Igbo, automatically I'm guilty
yeah,
now by,
I'm guilty from calling Nigeria zoo. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, at that point, if I make any problem,
let me ask you the experience personally now, right?
Mm.
So at that point, like that was the first time you were being profiled as an Igbo.
Yes, yeah,
like
exactly,
first time ever.
Exactly.
Apart from whatever you've heard or police, whatever police brutality, or whatever you've experienced in the past.
That was the first time from a Yoruba guy. The police one is Hausa. The other one is Hausas, the northerners from the police. That one is normal. But that time I don't see it as them doing it, because you always see an Igbo man standing there. Because at the east, you always see an Igbo man. When you go to the Igbo man, he will tell you, Naim Biawaga. So you will get confused. Now you will now get to the northerner begging. And they are easy once you calm down. But once that Igbo man said, go to an Aimbia Oga, your own is finished, that means you're not getting any help there. So the only help you will do now is just to sort yourself out. So, but the first time I got it from a Yoruba guy was that at the airport, and it was so why I never forgot about that. It was so dangerous, because had it been I made any noise there, maybe the next 1 hour or 2 hours I'm still in the office talking, and then I will lose my flight. I know what it is losing flight. You will pay if you have food stuff. Some of them will get spoiled, something like that. So I was like, God, give me wisdom to answer this man. And I said to him, you called Nigeria zoo now, then that means you are the animal living in the zoo. That's exactly what I said. So he was ashamed of himself. He now gave me back my passport. Then when we are on the line going towards where our final immigration body now, the guy at my back now said to me, my brother, leave these people. They will see all these things we are seeing now. They think we are that living abroad that is okay for us, but them are here oppressing everybody just like this. He said, Yoruba guy, a doctor, a medical doctor. He's traveling to US that day. He said, my brother, he was the one apologizing to me. He said, my brother, sorry, just forget about these people. They will see it very soon. That time Buhari was in charge, I think. They say they will see it. They will see it. That was he told me. So that one now gave me another hope. But this time around, Maiyegun, it's scary. For me now, if I go to my Facebook now, if I see any topic, I will be going to names, Hausa name, Yoruba names, to read their comments.
What they are commenting. Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not like this before. It's not like this,
That even when you see,
it's scary now.
Somebody will say something, and sometimes you're like, oh my God, this one is Hausa. This northerner is saying something. Man, I've never seen any northerner say something good like this before. That's the state and the reality that people are.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be one people, one country. But in the sense that they are injecting this hatred into the minds of the poor people. That's the problem. And a poor man is always rugged and brutal on everything he's doing because he has nothing to lose. That's why you see it generating so much dust in our society, because the people that are using this weapon is now the people that brought this weapon are the rich people. They make meetings, they marry their daughters, they marry each other, they fly. You see, whenever they have a holiday. You see, but the poor people are now they now gave the poor people the weapon. Now the people are now using on fellow poor person. You see, it's very, very dangerous. I don't know where this thing is going to go, because the only place for me, like you used to say, I say it's tsunami. Let people survive and clean this, come together, work like after Second World War, how the Germans started packing their blocks, cleaning their city by themselves. Women, children, everybody started cleaning. So when it's tsunami or earthquake, that we now come together and have one common humanity will fall in. But like this, just like this way, what Fulanis are doing.
Tsunami will kind of wipe off maybe like 150 million people. The world itself go.
Everybody, because revolution cannot work anymore. Because if you see this one, is my brother, I have a criminal brother there. I can't criticize him. Yeah, I also have a criminal brother. He can't criticize him. Yoruba have one, and at the end of the day, at the center, the poor people cannot buy food to eat. Like Jejema used to say, that it's now a country of rice. Road spoil, rice. Like no day, rice. This one, rice. Person die, rice. No hospital, rice. You know, so if you're giving people rice, what of the oil? What about the chicken? What about the fire? My brother, is keep on preaching till we get to everybody. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Emoji, right? That's a good one there from the man himself, Emoji. Personal experiences actually does count in conversation like this, because for those who have experienced it firsthand, they can relate. And when you share yours, and you have series of experiences that people can relate with and say, well, this is wrong then. If this is happening, then it shouldn't. You know? Rather than just brush it aside and just pretend it's not happening. And hopefully those who are the victims, maybe they will learn how to live with it. And because there are other pressing issues. You see, this one is also a very big one, where, you know, families, I mean, people have been brought into this world by union of love, right? Between two people and families who found something in common. And now they were supposed to be product of love. Only for you that is a product of love to now look around and see what the children of perdition, the children of hate, disguising themselves as ethno-irredentists, like tribal jingoists. So it's personal, it's going to feel different, right? So we've not had a chance of anyone. I know usually what we do during the brunch time of Maiyegun's Diary Political is to read some sort of historical piece. But I think we'll be doing just more than that now. Very much, you know, can I call it a topical issues like this are really like should be discussed and brought to our consciousness, so to say, so that, you see, it's not just going to be about the politics of me versus them. At the bottom of this, we versus them, they versus us stuff, there are real life victims, children, right, whose childhood was messed up simply because of this entrenched tribal profiling. Something that is, I don't know, coming from the place of hate or hatred, in which the older generation that are fueling this themselves, right? They are not saints, they are as guilty, right, as any perpetrator anywhere. So some of them are doing this that sometimes you have to ask them, like, what exactly is the end goal? What? So I was saying something about self-preservation earlier. That, you see, if these guys care so much about the people that they want the prosperity of the land to go round, cut down poverty, install a responsible governance and all that, right? Enough that people actually have something tangible, something real, right, to own, or something so real that they are afraid of losing it. We don't have that as a people. The wealth of the land is currently in the hands of a few. Our people are now, like, you know, Almajiris and all of that stuff. So we have seen that the richest people in Yoruba land are politicians, former governor, former this, former that, or present this, present that. You know, they are not industrialists. You can see real industrialists and say, that, you know, we have so many industrialists who are like a multi-billionaire. No, they're politicians. They are politicians. the people who they have impoverished so much are the same people that they are weaponizing this hatred, pushing it through them, and possibly continue to pass it from one generation to another. So we owe our generation, we owe the generation after us, we owe the generations yet unborn, our own children, something. And you can't let those who want to limit them, those who want to make them feel like they are second-class citizens, where you can't let them win as well. You know? Because the purpose is not for the greatness of Yoruba land, it is for the damnation of Yoruba land, so to say. Because the real people that are after us, diminishing us, impoverishing us, siding with the terrorists rather than us, they are those who have the all resources, who have what it takes to keep me and you safe from especially the Fulani terrorists and all other terrorists, criminals who might come after the life of an average Yoruba person, right? There are those who are saddled with their responsibility, my dear. Their job is to keep me and you safe. They haven't done that, but somehow they are like deviating. They are, you know, weaponizing all sorts of rhetorics that are of hateful undertone, background, or base, right? But when we try to open the lid on that, let's hear from those who are the direct victims. We have had people who have called in this program this afternoon who have experienced the discrimination, the profiling, simply because they are Easterners. My first caller to this afternoon, it's not even an Igbo person. It's from Delta, another ethnic nationality from that part of Nigeria. He was born in Lagos, was supposed to be a Lagosian, right? He speaks Yoruba, he said. Something that I would say, oh, that's your language. You know, we used to laugh at those we call the botis or the omobotas, like the, what do you call those ones again? Those ones who are like from this average middle class home or rich homes. We call them the botas, because they are those who don't speak Yoruba clearly. I mean, that used to be a thing. Yeah. I imagine what that would be like for a lot of you right now. Yeah. Because when we're growing up, right, if you are a bota, your mama na Yoruba, your papa na Yoruba, speak Yoruba, problem. And when they start speaking the Yoruba, it is always going to be like, oh my God, this person is never Yoruba, right? But now that you can speak the Yoruba, you can do all of that clearly, automatically people just feel like, oh, you belong, you are one of us. But there's always that thing there to remind you that, no, you're not. Here you get now. So we want people who have experienced this to speak up. We want those of you who have experienced from the other side too, because we have Yorubas who are saying that that's what the Igbos self they do. But I would rather have you as a Yoruba person come on and say, this is my experience. Sister Bimbola, Abi?
Yes, sir.
That's how are you doing?
How are you?
Well, I'm very well. Oh, yourself?
I'm good, Janice.
Fantastic.
I'm good.
So I woke you up this morning, and I hope you are off.
No, I woke up, I turned on my TV, I said, oh, brunch time. Maiyegun. Then I listened a little bit, I said, okay, it's talking about this our common problem.
You know?
So, you know, in my own opinion, right, I think the Nigerians, we use this tribalism as, you know, escape route from us taking action when necessary. You know, because I see when somebody is doing something bad, it is easier for me to say, oh, these Yoruba people, now them they do them. So I can just
that is very common.
Stay back.
That is so common.
Yeah.
Oh, you
and not do
Igbo
anything.
People. Oh, you these Yoruba people. That's all that they do. What are you talking about? Like what?
Because and then the Nigerians too, the same way the politicians see Nigeria is the same way the common man also see Nigeria. Nobody has like an attachment to it, like this is my land. I have to fight for this land. I have to fight for this country. You know, what we are doing is this is just a place,
you know,
to be. Most Nigerians now, the reason why they are there is because they don't have the option to get out of the place. So they are not really trying to save it, to protect it. at all. Okay.
Like they don't have any incentive.
They don't have that yet. It's like I don't have a connection to this land. So I don't care.
So the only ambition, when I asked somebody, I said, in America, you have what you call the American Dream, right? Well, in Nigeria, can anybody tell me what is Nigerian Dream? Like a young boy.
But the thing is, the people, you have to create that environment where there can be that dream. You see, America has the environment where you can dream, where you can, because you know that if you have the dream and you work towards it, you are most likely to achieve it.
Yep.
The people created that environment. Nigeria, there's no environment where you can dream. You know, so now look at the protests that happen in America here, the whole 50 states over the tariff. Exactly, the tariff imposed by Trump. The people you see at that protest, they have job. Most of them have job. They are not homeless. So these are people who have something doing in their lives.
Like common everyday people.
Look at Showore's protest, where the guy is fighting for the government not being able to gag you, so that you will be able to speak and say you are hungry. That is the purpose of that protest. Nigerian youth, most of them are unemployed. They are just sitting around doing nothing. Did you see them there?
No.
Everybody sat at home.
Possibly mocking him, you know?
Exactly. This is an issue that affects you directly, mostly. Because you are the one that they will likely pick up for abusing the president's wife. Awesome. Now people like you, we no get money. Poor people like you, those are the people that the police will probably grab. Exactly. You know. So, but this protest now, you can count the number of people that are the protests. Why will the police not attack them? They don't have the numbers. You imagine the police attacking any of those crowd here in America?
Impossible.
How?
Why would they do that?
How would they even do that? Like when you see that, when you see the crowd,
you have seen the news, right? Because they've done the area view of the whole protest. You have seen the march. You have seen the crowd. Why would you want to attack them? Like why would you even do that? You can't do that. You can't.
You know, but this is this thing that affects you directly. You are sitting at home. You don't have a job, or you don't have nothing you're doing, but you're not there. So why would these politicians not continue to do what they're doing? And then when it's time for you to take action, you are looking at, na Yoruba man, na Igbo man, na Hausa, na this, you know. So
say these Igbo people hate us, so they want to remove a Yoruba man.
They want to, exactly.
These Yoruba people hate us, so they want to remove an Igbo man. These Hausa people hate us, they want to remove a Fulani man. So people are like that.
So people will say, hey, Showoda is a Yoruba man. So whatever he wants to do, then we're not going to support.
I know.
Thinking about the issue that this person is, agitating for. Like, does this issue affect me?
And you know something too, sister? You know something, is that while some people are saying, right, that, Showore is a Yoruba man, they are just using him. He's working for Tifnumbu and all of that. The Ronukus, on the other hand, they are saying Showore is not a Yoruba man.
He's not a Yoruba man.
That's why I want to remove a Yoruba man. So I'm like, if I was Showore, I would just be like, who am I? Go. But I don't understand. You're right.
So, Nigeria, I just see that we are just lazy. We are lazy people. We don't want to sacrifice anything to get what we want. We don't want to do the work. No. We just want it to happen by magic and, So, and rather than us to...
Somebody will just rise And they will start shouting, Maiyegun, Maiyegun.
Yeah.
I say, who is that Maiyegun? Whoa, and that guy go, that guy is very, very powerful. He's coming to save us. I say, the Maiyegun,
when they call, go and look at them now. When they call for political, religious gathering, go and look at the people that will be there. Massive turnout for religious gathering. But for something that will benefit them, for them to change the system, you won't see anybody. Rather than that, they will turn to tribalism, ethnicity, and all this big things.
Yeah, that's the part where they are weaponizing it because it's deliberate. People see have all these problems, right? That they should concern themselves with, okay? But they dissipate so much energy into this. They hate us. We must hate them. They're coming for us.
Yeah, but the politicians will use whatever they know that you will accept. They study you now. So they know what will fly with you. And that is what they will capitalize on. So if they know that you won't buy the thing, they won't use it.
See, sister, I have this, right? I have this kind of, one-on-one personal meditation. Okay, like me, trying to have this retrospect about things, okay? So I saw a post, and that person wrote, I'm just going to like quote it just to fit what I want to explain, okay? So the person said, as I wake up this morning, before they do me like say, we should start killing all the Igbos with the Yoruba land. I was like, from where did that come from? Because you know that people are going to react, of course. Yeah. So you start, you type that, you posted it, and you sat back. And right there under the post, of course, the Igbos are there. Now your papa will go first kill. Look at this rat. Look at this idiot. Now we go kill this. If to say you are all over there alive right now, now we go hang them again. Not that kind of talk. You as a Yoruba person who saw the first one, you are still like, and you see another person who is Igbo, right? Now you are all over that drink poison. You go jail. You know, like, what the heck, man? Then it goes on and on and on and on. Then you go back to the beginning and say, why would anybody just wake up? Right? And then, boom. Because right under the same post, you will see other like Yorubas who come in and say, thank you, Jare, my brother. We are too dull in this Yoruba land. You see, if the teacher starts, now that Igbo shop we did down my street, make you live on for me. You begin to say, is this how people are actually like thinking of themselves?
Yeah. And
like,
the person that puts that post,
would they actually really go this hard on themselves? And it becomes concerning.
Because, because the person that put that post too knew the kind of reaction he was going to generate by doing that. And that's how the politicians also test the waters like that. Like, go and see how the people. So now they are looking at all your reaction down there to see, okay, they are already divided. This thing is dividing them. It's not the reaction should be directed at that guy alone.
The first person,
like,
and say,
yes,
you this idiot.
You mean
like
if like, you're thinking like this, how many people have you killed? We need to get you arrested. There's something wrong with you mentally for you to have that thought of
in the first place,
unaliving a human being. So if that is the general comment that's there, like, if tribalism is not coming into it, like ethnicity is not coming into it, people are just condemning what that person said. With regards to, this is a bad statement.
Like, without having
this
to make it,
without having it. So they will look. Now
so
should be our politicians
just staying neutral. Somehow there's a threshold of what you can hold, right? There's somehow something makes you want to reply that say, listen to this Igbo people. How do you this Igbo? You have been saying nonsense about us Yoruba. You this Igbo people. And then it goes on. It goes on and on. Another person will come and say, shut up your mouth. Don't you see this and that? And it goes on and on and on like that. And again,
because
just one simple purpose. Division.
because they know they can divide you in that way. But if you're looking at it like good and bad, and if everybody is looking at it like that, when an
Like,
Igbo
this is
person
wrong.
does
It doesn't
something
matter
bad,
who's doing it.
the
This is
Igbo
wrong.
should come out and say this is wrong.
Yep.
If Fulani man does something bad, all the Fulani should come out and say this is wrong. A Yoruba person does something bad, the Yorubas, everybody come out and say this is wrong. Now they know that they cannot divide you by tribalism. But if they know when they sow this, they have trolls now. They have trolls. They have trolls all over. So they kind of test it like what is going to work before they use it. But because we ourselves don't see Nigeria as something that we want to really build or we want to fight for, right? So it is easy for us to hide behind that ethnicity and say, well, yeah, Yoruba, Igbo man, and all that stuff, because we don't really want to do the work either to fight for that space that nature gave us, So that's what the thing I see.
I know. Yeah. I love your perspective on the subject matter. Like, again, it goes all sides. If all of us have been kind of like sincere, we have the aggressors, we have the inciters, we have the trolls, and of course we are seeing the effect of all of that again. But what then happens?
Because we are very interwoven. If we sit back and think about it, we are so into each other that
exactly my point.
For us to divide.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the children who are the products of such unions. Right?
I mean, we have it's not even just, it's like generations of mixture that, I have nieces and nephews that are partly Igbo that I love tremendously.
There's almost
so
no Yoruba
what are you going to
right?
Yeah.
That will say by extension or extended family and all of that stuff that you won't find somebody outside your own ethnic nationality as member of the family.
So hardly. There's none. Look at that. Even in Lagos State, do you know Idiarabana?
Yep. Emotion.
Say that na Hausa Fulani settlement. Idiaraba there. Most of the people there that were settlers there were Hausa, and these are generations of. Now they speak Yoruba so that you don't even know. It's going to be so difficult for you to like slice that.
So what are they going to do? They're going to just roll all of them into one concentration camp in the future and gas them off so that because they are tainted blood.
So we need to have a strong system. That's what we should be fighting for right now. Like our systems should work for us. This is what we are benefiting in this country. This system. But those of us that are foreigners here, we are just like the Yorubas will say "agbado inu igo," right? Like we are just like chicken feeds that are in a bottle, and the chicken is looking at it like this. The bottle is the bottle is what is protecting that feed, right? The white nationalists, do you think? If you know what they want to do to you, if the system is not there, or do you think that we are here? Do you think they love us being here and all that striving?
None of you would.
If they have their way, none of us will be here now.
And it's not just that you won't be there. Every wealth you have acquired will be revoked from you.
Yes.
Like take it from them.
Exactly.
You take anything away.
Even the ones that are descendants of slaves, they want to get rid of everybody if they could. So we have to first fix. We have to do something to make sure that this thing, if we have eventually go apart, because we're gonna have to. What we have right now, how does it work for everybody? That's it.
It's not.
That should be our main focus right now. Not this tribalism, Igbo, this Yoruba, that Hausa, this thing that they just continue. The politicians will just be taking us for a ride. They will just continue to take us for a ride if we still bent on doing that.
Thank you very much. I have stolen out of your money.
I know.
But it's really worth it. So, right. Thank you so much for coming. Right. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
Cheers, man. So, interesting, right? Like I said, talking about it, right, is not because you want to, we want to take sides or make any side feel guilty. It is actually like pointing something out, something that is so serious that there is actually real life victims. There are real life victims of this kind of line of thought. Leo, hello.
Hello, Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Good day. I'm actually a first-time caller.
You are, and you are calling from where, sir?
I'm calling from Germany.
From Germany. Can I call you Leo?
Yeah.
Grand. So that's how we welcome every first-time caller on this platform. So thank you so much for calling in, sir. Now you want to say something.
Thank you so much.
Topic, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I've been a follower for the past 4 years. I've been listening, trying to call in, actually, but I've not been so lucky to get across.
Here we are now.
Yeah.
Like, we could do it now. Go on, sir.
Yeah. I'm so elated, so happy. I grew up in Lagos. I am from the southeast. I'm from Imo State, to be precise.
Bless you.
And I grew up in Lagos, schooled in Lagos. I speak Yoruba too. And my parents my mother still lives in Lagos. And it's just so unfortunate how things have changed. I remember when I was growing up, opposite my house, if you know Lagos, I lived in Olodi. We had, Olodi Apapa. That's where my parents used to live. Bale Street. There was a cinema house, a very popular cinema house then, opposite my house. It was called Boundary Cinema.
I remember.
Boundary Cinema.
Boundary. Okay, I thought it's a bamboo because I remember that one. Go on.
Yeah, and by the side of Boundary Cinema is a mosque. 500 meters away from this mosque is a church, a Catholic church. It still exists, and we all grew up together. It was so wonderful. The Yoruba guys come to our home. We celebrate Christmas together. When they have their Salah or the Muslim festivals, we all celebrate together. There is always this giveaways, which we as children, we were so happy.
Always looking forward to.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the politicians came with their bigotry and their separation and their problems here and there. And now the whole situation has gotten out of hand, Maiyegun. Has gotten totally out of hand, because I am a total believer in that country, but I have tried in all my little ways of thinking to fashion out how it can function. But I have come to the conclusion the best solution is just to part ways in peace. Part ways in peace. Because we had this wonderful childhood. I would want to remember my Hausa friends, my Yoruba friends, my Calabar friends, my Edo friends in one piece, as we all grew up together.
Back and remember this childhood, and you're like, hang on. I mean, I have friends from this other part of Nigeria that I never even care where they came from. We all just so existed that, like, we look for one another when we can't find ourselves. And whenever we found ourselves, it was like a jolly good fellow stuff. Like, we all, like, there was never a time that I had to feel pretty much like unwanted, or at the same time, like I felt unsafe. Growing up, I had no reason to suspect them because I don't care where they came from. They were my friends, my childhood friend. But these days, what they are pushing and forcing on, right? If it is allowed to last, go on.
You could imagine. Then the parents, our parents, they go to the market or go to their daily chores. They leave us in the hands of other tribes, parents from other tribes. Their neighbors, when they come back from, they say, Baba Salami, or Baba Kabiru, or if this one comes home, this is what he has to do. Don't make sure you stay at the door. Don't let them go outside, because the cars they drive, everybody drives very fast. Don't let them go out. And these things, these parents will make sure you don't go out to get injured or to do something wrong.
It takes a community to raise a child. You know, everybody's just there to look after one another. So I don't know what it is like now. That's why I'm asking people who are currently experiencing whatever it is now to share with us. And I am still waiting for the first call from somebody who is, a product of intertribal or inter-ethnic marriages. Do you get what I mean? But go on, Baba.
Yeah. In my family, my brother, his daughter is. He got his daughter with a girl from Lagos, a Yoruba girl, and this girl is about 24 years now. She's totally she's not Yoruba, she's not Igbo. She's the way we brought her up, the way we all grew up together. But I don't imagine having such a situation today in the present constellation. What is happening in the country, that such a freedom can exist. I don't know. I don't believe so, because there is everything has been
bigoted, right? This is not even like discrimination against what you say. These are other tribes, right?
Yeah.
I am talking about somebody who is a member of your own household, like Yorubas. They are Yorubas, right? And they are being called normally, and they want to push an agenda to say not only that you are worthless if your mama, your papa are not both Yorubas, right? You are worthless. So to say you're like, you are not, don't even try to count yourself, among. Like, you are now trying to say you want to cancel any Yoruba that is married to any other tribe from running for political office. Like I said, right, it is not like they have such political sort of influence, so they don't. But when I saw how they bullied a speaker, the speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly, right, to delete a post that was sort of celebrating his mother, her kinsman, as well as their contribution to Oyo State, he deleted it to put up another post to start describing himself. Meanwhile, they are seeing him as half Igbo, half Yoruba. He shouldn't have been a speaker. He must never be again, and nobody of such must be allowed again. Now, I don't know what kind of influence they had to pull, or if this guy himself, right, also have issues. When I say issues, I mean, why would you, right, succumb to the pressure of some faceless people, all right, on social media? That you are showing that you are ashamed of your Igbo heritage.
Your origin.
You get what I mean? Like, why would you even do that? So that's why I said I don't know the influence they wield. I don't know, but I do know that they do not have any physical political influence. But maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am not.
Maiyegun, you saw what?
Go on.
You saw what happened in Lagos with
GRV.
You saw what happened. Yeah, you saw what happened. If the pressure, they will so pressure this person that you, at the end of the day, you even start thinking, are they right? Or why is it worth going through this whole stress they are giving me? Is it actually worth it? But at the end, it is worth it, because when we give these people the freedom to continue doing the same rhetorics and continue playing the same games they have been used to playing. Then at the end of the day, they win. They win, and we are the ones at the losing end. I love Lagos. I grew up in Lagos, like I said.
When you say that to me, you got the Ronukus. I don't know. It's like their blood is great. They say, don't love Lagos, go and love Imo. And you should be like, what is wrong with you? I love Glasgow. I live here. You've lived here, right? So why can't I say that to them? No, don't say that. If one Chris Rock from America says, oh my God, I love Lagos. They say, yes, Chris, come to Lagos now. Come on, come to Lagos. Let's show you Lagos. I say, okay, somebody from America loves Lagos, or somebody born in Lagos in a contraption called One Nigeria can't love Lagos. Like, who are these
they are just people with little minds, and we all you live in a country where you invest your energy, your money, your time in one particular area where you have stayed for so many years, and somebody who might not even have the same investment you have in the same place is telling you don't love the place where you are there, where your money is, where your heart is, where your family is.
You pay taxes there, which is also part of what runs the place.
Yeah.
Or somebody who doesn't.
That is it, my.
It's telling you that because this is that, and you're like, are these people just this daft, or they are practicing it, or is this just an acting? Because people can't be this original.
I think they are playing out a role which they have been.
Leo, I'm talking about the children who are products of some of these marriages. They read all these stuffs online. Imagine somebody who has these mixed parents, and you're there online every day, where some faceless miscreants never do well, unfortunate souls, sewage dwellers, we call them, right? Begin to like share citizenship, and you're like, what's that? And they say, well, you are not even half Yoruba. You are a tainted blood. Your citizenship is 13th class. You are 13th class citizen. You say, what is that? What is 10th class, 11th class? What the heck is wrong with you people? Who are these people? You know?
It's just so unfortunate. I just wanted to call in. I was chanced to call in today, and I tried, and luckily I got through. I want to praise you for your shows, Maiyegun. You are doing wonderfully well. We are very, very grateful to have you spreading the gospel, spreading the news, getting us informed. I pray and wish you continue to keep it up and be strong and be strong and don't be moved from all these negative forces.
I won't be.
From the Ronukus, don't be moved.
The Ronu Nazis or the Ronu bandits. Stay, that's Leo.
Have a nice day, yeah?
You have a good one, man. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
So, you see, I'm going to go get ready for the evening. Okay? We are unable to attract the supposed candidates for this experiment. And who are these candidates for this experiment? I'm talking about those of you who have mixed parents. It doesn't even have to be Igbo Yoruba. Just share your experience or your experiences, what it is like in this old Nigeria and this new Nigeria. What is it like in real life when it comes to this, your shared heritage, right? Or heritage, rather. So this shared heritage, what has been your own experience? I'm going to continue this tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'll see you later this evening, right? Promise. Good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary. làwa mọ̀ láwọn tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Maiyegun diary politico.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary náà ibi nọ́mbà wọn.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo
mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tún ra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tún ra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tún ra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tún ra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.